Hey, PJTV fans, I'm Andrew Klavan, and I'm here with Bill Whittle, the man who engineered the technique of torturing jihadis by reading them Hillary Clinton's unabridged autobiography.
Where's the bomb? I'll tell you nothing, infidel.
I'll tell you everything.
I first met Bill when I was a student at Little Rock. It's in the airline packet. Torture.
These ugly scenes are brought to you direct from the site.
Hideous.
Bill, your question today comes from Heyoka. Would a bill of responsibilities be better than a bill of rights?
You know, we pick our questions because they inspire thoughts that we think are interesting. The reason I wanted to take this one is because the Bill of Rights is a Bill of Responsibilities.
Yeah.
It is a Bill of Responsibilities. The Bill of Rights has inherent in it the responsibilities that come with it. Because what the idea of the Bill of Rights essentially says is, you have protections against infringement upon you. The Bill of Rights protects things from happening to you, right? They protect it protects you from having your God-given right to free speech taken away from you. Just have to say this again and again and again. The First Amendment does not grant you the right to free speech. The First Amendment says you have the right to free speech at birth. It's a divine right that's natural law, and the government can't take it away from you. The Bill of Rights says that you have a right to defend yourself, and the government can't take that right away from you, and so on. So what the Bill of Rights does is it protects you from infringement, right? And the entire theory behind the Bill of Rights is to say to people, to say to citizens, go out there and do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to. Your responsibilities begin when your actions start infringing upon the rights of other people. Everything else is okay. So in other words, I can do whatever I want. I don't need a Bill of Responsibilities because you've got a Bill of Rights. And when my behavior starts to transgress the line between what's free for me to do and what begins to impinge upon your freedoms, that's when your rights take precedence over my actions. You don't need a Bill of Responsibilities. Bill of Responsibilities is built into the Bill of Rights. It would be useful to explain to young people today that because what appears to be a free action does in fact have consequences. Some people are trying to disconnect these two things. We've had this conversation many times before. You know, the freedom to take drugs, for example, kind of a libertarian idea that, you know, you should be able to take whatever drugs you want to. I personally have come around to believe that's probably the case. But there are in fact consequences to other people, and there are consequences to yourself. I don't think that the government has the right to tell you or infringe upon your ability to harm yourself.
I don't think so either, yeah.
But they certainly have the ability to say, at this point, your drug use is harming other people. If you're stealing in order to get the money for the drug use, you're harming the person you're stealing from. You're harming the people who may have been in a vehicle and you're driving drunk. There's any number of cases where you do that. But I think it's really a powerful way to look at it. The Bill of Rights is basically saying, go off and do what you want to, and you can do anything you want to that doesn't start to infringe on that person's rights and boundaries.
I do sometimes wish that the Bill of Rights had a different name. I wish it was sometimes called the Bill of Government Limitations, because that, as you say, that's really what it is. It is not a bill that grants us our rights. It is a bill that says the government cannot do this. It's always about that. And whenever I hear somebody say, you have the right to go to college, you have a right to this, you have a right to that, you have no rights like that. You have no positive rights. You only have the right to be left alone. That is what the Bill of Rights is. It's a bill of limitations on our government. And as for that idea, that limitation, that really your rights end at the other guy's nose. I mean, I have what I sometimes think of as the Pinocchio syndrome, where the left is constantly trying to make the guy's nose grow.
That's beautiful.
And I mean,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
You know, it's like the secondhand smoke thing, which is
or trigger warnings or anything.
When you're driving your car, the climate is falling apart and all this stuff.
If somebody puts up a nativity display and it offends me, and I'm therefore my rights to be. You know,
for me, it's like a direct. It has to be literally your fist hitting the other guy in the forehead before the government has any right to do it. That's why I support it when the government says you can't text and drive, but I don't support it when they tell me I have to wear my seatbelt. If the way I want to see the world is by going through the windshield on a short stop, that's the way I should see the world, and they really have no right to stop that.
No, I think that's really it, and this idea of saying it's a bill of government limitations is the entire idea.
Yeah.
This is, and by the way, I think the reason this is so interesting is this isn't just the back door to get to young people. This is the front door, and it's the right door, and it's the noble door. It's the door that says what we're fighting for. We identify ourselves as conservatives. Is a world where you are not told what you can do. you're not even really told what you can't do, other than the fact that you pretty much can do anything until you start hurting other people.
Right.
Young people are virtuous enough to understand that. You want to jump up on a table and bang around, that's great. But if it means other people can't sleep, not so great. If it means you kick somebody in the face by accident, also not so great. We want a world where you can do everything except for when it begins to harm other people. They're the ones who want to tell you, here are the limited things that
That's
you can
right.
do. If you're wearing a safety helmet, and if you're drinking a drink that's a certain amount of fluid ounces, and if you've got the kind of car that's getting a certain amount of miles per gallon, all those other things.
Yeah, no, it's right. There's a line in St. Paul: everything is permissible, not everything is helpful, and that's
And
really true.
and the world they want is a world where everything that is not forbidden is mandatory.
That's absolutely right. That's all we have time for today. Let us know what questions you'd like answered by leaving them in the space below. For Bill Whittle and PJTV, I'm Andrew Klavan. Thank you for watching.